Now, it's been almost 2 years and several insufficient rescue packages since Greece's debt began to spiral out of control, threatening contagion. European leaders are in Brussels to finally stem the financial bleeding. In Brussels again, I should say. The Chancellor, George Osborne, says a deal would be the biggest thing that could boost the British economy. No deal would be one of the worst, he might have added. But are Europe's leaders actually up to it? European finance ministers gathered in Brussels to face the news that the latest top-up to the rescue package approved for Greece last night of €8 billion just doesn't get even remotely near solving the problem. A report by international lenders says the Greeks need at least 30 times as much, or €252 billion more. Others say the overall rescue fund for other potential patients like Spain, Italy or Portugal needs €2 trillion. French President Nicolas Sarkozy badly wants the problem to go away. He is slipping behind his rival in a re-election battle, and French banks, heavily exposed to high-risk euro debts, face a thumbs down from the ratings agencies. But the German Bundestag, rebelling at the idea of swallowing measures agreed by EU governments, has now tied the hands of Chancellor Angela Merkel by insisting that they vote on all Eurozone rescue deals. Well, joining us now from Brussels is Stefanie Bolzen. She is the Europe correspondent for Die Welt, a German newspaper. Welcome to the programme, Stefanie. Tell me, I guess one could say that Germany is in the unfortunate position of being the wealthiest nation in Europe. Would it not be the honourable thing to do for the Germans just to bail out the Europeans with their crisis at the moment?
Well, I would say that the euro crisis is a big dilemma for the German government, but also for the Germans, because the government and the Germans are very much aware that the health of the euro is also the health of the German economy, especially the export economy. But at the same time, there's a growing resentment among the population to say, why should we bail out? Why should we put more money into rescue funds if some other member states don't take the responsibility they should take?
Do you think that Germans still feel, on the whole, that it is worth the sacrifice, the financial sacrifice, to keep the European project on track?
I think they do, because they do know the euro is crucial for them, because, as I said, for the export industry. But at the same time, if you look at the polls, Germans get more and more wary of decisions taken in Brussels. And they tend more and more to say, we want to manage the crisis on our own, we want to keep the euro, but we are not happy that there are so many decisions taken in Brussels without us having a word or having a stake in that.
And one of the big problems at the moment, I gather, is that the Bundestag, the German parliament, says that it wants to have final approval of any kind of negotiating tactic or any points agreed by European leaders in places like Brussels. That's going to make it very messy, isn't it?
It will make it very messy, but you have to have in mind there's huge pressure on Merkel, on the coalition government, that the Bundestag has a stake. And the Bundestag has only 2 weeks ago agreed on a rescue package of 211 billion euro, which will be guaranteed by the German taxpayers. And now they're coming back. Now these hours they are talking about maybe 1 trillion, 2 trillion, and therefore the German Bundestag and the German voters want to have a say in what is happening here in Brussels.
In a word, Stefanie, how pessimistic are you that especially the French and the Germans together can actually reach some agreement later this week?
I think they will have to find an agreement, and I'm sure by Wednesday there will be an agreement. Interestingly, the German Chancellor today, for the first time, was much more outspoken about what has to happen. She was actually referring to the British Prime Minister, and she was saying, what we need is a bazooka. We need a bazooka, like the Prime Minister David Cameron has said. And this, I think, is a new turn in the German government policy.
Bazookas galore. Stefanie Bolzen, thank you very much indeed.